Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. This is Dilmer again, and today I want to talk about Agile methodology and Agile for indie game developers and Agile for anyone that is trying to complete a project. So with Agile and what I do with my own indie game projects is I try to create an MVP. So in Agile methodologies, that's one of the goals that you want to create an MVP project, and by that I mean a minimal viable product. So what is a minimal viable product? So a minimal viable product is a product that you can get to your consumer in a very short time where they can actually go in and test your product before having all the extra features, before having all the different mechanics that you're gonna have in your indie game. So for example, for me, in most of the games that I did in the past, what I try to do is I try to set a duration. So anytime you're working on a project, and if you're using Agile methodologies, you want to make sure that you define the length of each iteration. And by iteration, Agile calls it a sprint. And a sprint is basically, you might say, I'm going to spend 2 weeks working on an MVP, or I'm going to be working, 4 weeks in getting a minimal viable product. And with that, that is so powerful because you can get, you might get an idea today and you might want to say, well, I don't know if the idea is going to do that well. Well, if you do Agile methodologies and we get an MVP out, we can say, in 4 weeks, I'm going to get the minimal amount of features needed in order for that idea to be tested. And you might ask me, who is going to test your idea? And testing the idea can be as simple as going to a Starbucks and asking few people, hey, would you mind testing this app that I just built, or would you mind testing this game? Or you can get a few friends to do that same thing. But what we want to do in that period when you deliver your MVP is you want to take as many notes as you can. I mean, you have to watch people actually play your game. So for me, I did something similar where I'm working on a new game. I went to lunch with about 6-7 friends, and we all sat on a table. We were eating. And during that time, I explained to them that I built a game, that I needed some feedback. So I let each one of them play, and I was watching how the experience was for them, the frustration. And during that time, you want to make sure that you don't say anything. We want to let them, play the game. You want to see what mistakes they make, if the controls are intuitive, if the game is intuitive. One of the comments that I got from doing an MVP project and in one of my games is the first person that actually played the game didn't feel like the controllers were correct. He told me, the controllers just don't feel intuitive. So I took those notes, and the first time I heard that, I was thinking, I don't think he knows how to play the game, or he might not be a gamer. So I was judging him before actually listening to everybody. So I gave my phone to somebody else. They played the game. They gave me the similar feedback that he gave me, and then I did that with multiple people. And at the end, I captured all that feedback and I put it back in my Trello board. So that's one of the powers of using Agile and MVP is that you can have people play your game, try your app very, very early on before actually releasing it to the public. And what that gives you is it gives you so much information. What if you release that product to the whole world and they have the same perception? We want to avoid having negative feedback and negative reviews right at that point. And you might do it as well. It depends on where you want to put your testing phase. If you want to test with friends or people that you don't know, maybe you go to conferences, or you want to test it in the market, you can do that as well. There's nothing to say that you release it to the market and you hear from people's feedback, and then you capture that feedback and you release a new version. So going back to Agile, you want to make sure that you aim for an MVP. And it's I always talk about failure and failing fast. And that's one of the best ways to fail fast. So if you fail fast and you know what the market wants, you know what people are looking for. Not to say that you always want to listen to people. A lot of people might be wrong. You more likely are gonna be right. But we want to hear both. I mean, you want to follow your gut, and at the same time, you want to see what other people experiences are. And the reason for that is because you had your own experiences in life. They have their different experiences in life. So the way that you see the world is completely different to the way that other people see the world. So we want to use Agile for that, and also Agile allows you to prioritize your work. So make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you're keeping your work very small. So when you start learning more into Agile, you want to make sure that you come up with good estimates. So one thing that I do is I have 3 different categories whenever I'm sizing every task. So I might say, okay, this task is small because it takes me 2 to 3 hours. I might say this other task is medium because it takes me 4 hours, and I would say, okay, this might be large because it takes me a day. And anything beyond that, it's basically something that you need to break into subtasks. So if you find yourself, finding a task that might take you more than a day, then that means that task needs to be broken out. And the reason to break it out into multiple pieces is because that's going to allow you to be consistent. And by that, what I mean is, if you're working on something for so long, what tends to happen to me is I don't get as motivated, and I don't see progress. It's you're adding to it. You're not seeing the results. With having a smaller task, you're able to finish something quickly. You're able to test it pretty quickly and see, oh yeah, I'm making a lot of progress. That actually keeps me super motivated. So make sure that you're doing that. And just to reiterate, so we talked about what Agile was and how important it is. We also talked about the importance of building an MVP, a minimal viable product. And I also talked to you about failing fast and how you can actually test your games and your products. So make sure that you do that. All of this stuff might seem overwhelming at first, but trust me, this is one of the reasons why I have been able to complete so many projects, is because I follow these principles. I might not follow them to the letter, but I'm always going back to the original roots. I'm always thinking back about what Agile really means. And the other thing that I didn't mention is what Agile allows you to do. Let's say that we work on a sprint that was 2 weeks and you got your MVP done. And then, okay, awesome, you got your feedback. And then one of the things that I do in Agile, and a lot of people do in when they're applying Agile software principles, is they have a retrospective. And with that retrospective, you want to ask yourself, what things didn't go well, what things did go well, and where can I improve? So I might say, I need to improve on maybe the sizing of my stories, of my tasks are too large. Or I might say, we as a team are not working well together. What can we change? Do we need to change the seating arrangement? Do we need to get another person in the team to help us with the graphic design? So the retrospective is very, very critical in order for us to improve. And this is a process that you're going to be improving every 2 weeks, every 4 months, because that's the concept of Agile. We move fast, we are an empowered team, and we're actually constantly improving. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. And remember, Agile is very, very important. In anything you do, you can apply that to your own life. You can apply it to your projects, to your day job. Agile is very, very critical for finishing your projects. And thank you again. And don't forget to subscribe and to share the video, because it allows me to, to create more videos like this or better videos than this. So thanks again. This was Dilmer. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.